Hi, and welcome to my lecture series in differential equations. In this episode, I will discuss another application of differential equations, this time in electric circuit analysis. If a circuit is purely resistive, there is no need for differential equations, and a sufficient knowledge of network laws and theorems is enough. However, if a circuit contains reactive components like inductors and capacitors, so for inductor, the symbol is L, and for capacitor, the symbol is C. So if a circuit contains reactive components like inductors and capacitors, differential equations becomes necessary. And unlike resistors, which are passive elements, reactive components have the ability to store energy. So in an inductor, the energy is stored in the magnetic field, while in a capacitor, the energy is stored in the electric field. And these reactive components have a property called reactance, which is analogous to resistance. We can think of this reactance as the opposition of the reactive components to alternating current. Circuits containing a combination of resistors and inductors, so these are RL circuits, or resistors and capacitors can be modeled using first-order differential equations, and hence these circuits, RL or RC circuits, are called first-order circuits. On the other hand, circuits which contain both inductors and capacitors, for example, RLC circuits, are called second-order circuits. Why? Because they are described by second-order differential equations. So this lecture will be divided in two parts. The first part is RL circuits and the second part is RC circuits. But before we discuss the circuit, let us first study some important relevant properties of inductors and capacitors. An inductor is a circuit element that consists of a coil of wire that is wound around a core. So sometimes the core is a metallic material, sometimes it's a ferrite material, or sometimes it has no core at all, meaning it's an air core inductor. This is the schematic symbol for an inductor. So here we see a coil, and the symbol for inductance is L. If the inductor is in a circuit with a current flowing through it, then there is also an induced voltage in the inductor. So ngayon, ano ang response or function ng isang inductor sa circuit? So we may remember that a resistor limits the current in a circuit. How about an inductor? An inductor opposes any change in electric current. So ayaw ng inductor na nagbabago ang kuryente sa kanya. So ano ang gagawin or magiging response ng isang inductor kapag nagbabago yung kuryente? Whenever the current in an inductor changes, it responds by opposing the change in electric current. Paano nagkakaroon ng induced voltage sa isang inductor? The current in an inductor generates magnetic field. Okay, so we know that a basic principle in electromagnetism is that whenever there is current, there is magnetic field. Bakit po? Because magnetic field comes from electric current. So kapag may dumaloy na kuryente dito sa inductor, sigurado tayo mayroong magnetic field. However, if this current is varying with time, no? Nagbabago-bago with time ang kuryente kasi AC yung current. Anong mangyayari sa magnetic field? The magnetic field will also vary with time. So if this current is time varying, then the magnetic field that it creates is also time varying. And another important concept in electromagnetism is that if there is a time varying magnetic field, yan ay nagke-create ng time varying voltage. So alam na natin na may kuryente dito na nagva-vary with time. Yung kuryente na nagva-vary with time, magke-create naman ng time-varying magnetic field. And in turn, sang-ayon sa Faraday's law ito ang time-varying magnetic field ay nagke-create ng time-varying voltage. At yung time-varying voltage na yan, yun yung tinatawag natin na induced voltage. Lagay natin dito. the induced voltage. Kaya, sa isang inductor, nakakaroon ng induced voltage, no? Whenever this current is changing. So ngayon, ano ang expression ng VL or yung voltage na na-induce doon sa inductor? So I told you that this statement here refers to Faraday's law. Whenever we have a time-varying magnetic field, nagkikreate siya ng time-varying voltage at yung time-varying voltage, yun ang tinatawag natin na induced voltage. So Faraday's law tells us that the induced voltage is equal to the rate of change in the magnetic flux. So this quantity here, you can think of this as the magnetic field, but strictly speaking, this symbol phi here is the magnetic flux. So the rate of change in the magnetic flux gives us the induced voltage. Where does the inductance come in this expression? We must know the definition of the inductance. So by comparison, resistance is defined as the ratio of the voltage to the current. In the same way, the inductance can be defined as the ratio of two quantities, and that is ratio of the flux to the current. So if we have here changing flux and changing current, then our inductance would be d phi over di. Changing flux over the changing current. So, using these two expressions, we can now derive the induced voltage in an inductor. Paano yan? So, if I replace this d phi with L times di, I can now have the induced voltage. Okay? So, itong d phi na ito, pwede ko siyang palta ng L multiplied by di. Itong dalawang ito, multiply ko. And i-copy ko lang yung dt. Ito na ngayon yung voltage na na-induce doon sa inductor. Okay, so we now have the voltage induced in an inductor, that is L times di over dt. So this is a very important formula. At maraming may alam ng formula na yan pero hindi nila alam kung saan galing. Okay, so now you know kung saan galing itong formula ng inductor voltage na ito. Yan pala ay galing sa laws of electromagnetism. Yes, no? Specifically, Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So once again, this VL here is the expression for finding the voltage in an inductor. Later, gagamitin natin ito kapag nag-model na tayo ng electric circuit na may resistor at saka inductor. But for the meantime, i-analyze muna natin ano ba ang ibig sabihin nitong LDI-dt na ito. Sabi natin kanina, ang inductor, ino-oppose niya ang pagbabago sa kuryente. So ayaw niya na nagbabago ang kuryente. So that means that in an inductor, the current cannot change instantaneously. Bakit? Kasi nga, kapag nagbabago ang current, i-oppose iyan ng inductor. Now, what if the current in the inductor is constant? So, if the current is constant, then we will get the derivative of a constant which is 0. And therefore, VL would be equal to 0. So ngayon, ano ang ibig sabihin kapag nag-0 na yung VL? Okay. If the voltage in a circuit element is 0, then we can think of that circuit element as shorted. Okay? Nag-short circuit siya. So that means kapag DC pala ang current or direct current yung dumadaan sa inductor, ang response ng inductor para siyang isang short circuit. So tatandaan natin yan ha. This is an important property of an inductor. In the presence of constant current, an inductor appears as a short circuit. But whenever the current in an inductor changes, then it creates an induced voltage VL that is equal to L times di over dt. So this means that the voltage in an inductor is proportional to the rate of change in the current. So this L is just a proportionality constant, which is the inductance. Now after the inductor, let us study the capacitor. Ano naman ang ginagawa ng isang capacitor sa isang circuit? So, ang resistor naglilimit ng current. Ang inductor nag-o-oppose sa changing current. Ano naman kaya ang role ng capacitor sa isang circuit? So a capacitor, as we know, consists of two parallel conductors separated by a dielectric, and it has the capacity or the ability to store electric charges. Ayan. Okay? So alam natin, ang capacitor nagcha-charge and then eventually magdi-discharge na siya. So it stores electric charges. This is the symbol of a capacitor. So in a capacitor, there is current Okay, and here we have VC, which is maraming ginagawa kasi VC siya. So this VC is the capacitor voltage and DC is the capacitance. Now, just like the resistance and inductance, we can express the definition of capacitance in terms of a formula. So mathematically, the capacitance is defined as the ratio of the charge stored in that capacitor divided by the potential difference or the voltage. Okay? So tandaan natin ha, C is equal to Q over V. Definition ito, kaya dapat hindi nyo makalimutan. Now, from this definition, we can obtain an expression for finding the voltage VC. Okay, so this voltage in the capacitor is equal to this Q divided by the capacitance. So now we have the expression for the voltage in a capacitor, that is the charge, divided by the capacitance. When a capacitor charges accumulate on the capacitor and therefore the voltage in the capacitor increases, and then whenever the capacitor discharges, nauubusan siya ng charge at nagbabago ulit yung voltage sa kanya. So kapag nagkakaroon ng pagbabago sa voltage sa isang capacitor, yung electric field nagva-vary din yan. And according to another important law in electromagnetism, electric field that varies with time produces current. No? Specifically, ang tawag dyan ay displacement current. Okay, ulitin natin ha. Sa isang capacitor, from time to time, it's possible that the voltage is changing. Why? Because whenever the capacitor charges and then it discharges, yung voltage sa capacitor ay nagbabago-bago. Okay? Kasi pag nagbabago ang charge, kasi ito ay nagcha-charge, ito ay increasing, magbabago yung VC. And then kapag nagdi-discharge yung capacitor, so ito nababawasan. Kasi nagdi-discharge siya. Itong VC, magbabago rin yan. Okay? So, there is a time-varying voltage in the capacitor, which would cause the electric field to vary as well. And the law tells us that a time-varying electric field produces electric current. And that is what we are trying to solve now. Ano ang kuryente na dumadaloy sa isang capacitor? Okay? So, from the definition of electric current, I, that's dQ over dt, or the charge per unit time, pwede natin kuhanan ng derivative yung Q. Kung saan, ano ba ang Q? Yung Q ay yung capacitance multiplied by the capacitor voltage. So, that means that I is equal to the derivative with respect to time of this capacitance times the voltage across the capacitor. And alam naman natin na itong capacitance na ito, constant yan sa isang capacitor. In the same way that the resistance of a resistor is constant. So kapag kumuha tayo ng derivative, itong constant term na ito pwede nating ilabas at may matitirang VC sa loob. And this VC is changing with time. Kaya pwede natin siyang kuhanan ng derivative. So I can rewrite the expression for the current in this way. So the current in a capacitor is equal to the capacitance times the derivative of the capacitor voltage. So I is equal to C times dVC over dt. Ano ang response ng isang capacitor sa circuit? Ayaw ng capacitor na nagbabago ang voltage. In the same way na ayaw ng inductor na nagbabago ang current. So, dahil dyan, whenever the voltage changes, nakikreate ng opposition ang capacitor. Now, kapag ang voltage sa capacitor ay naging constant, ano ang mangyayari dito sa term na ito? If the capacitor voltage is constant, then the derivative of a constant is 0. And I will be equal to 0. So, kung ang kuryente sa isang capacitor ay nag-0, ano ang nangyari sa capacitor? So remember, in basic circuit analysis, if the current is 0, that means that the circuit is open. So that means, kapag constant ang voltage sa capacitor, ang capacitor ay parang isang open circuit. Tandaan po natin yan ha. Ayaw ng capacitor na nagbabago ang voltage. So it opposes any change in voltage. And if the voltage in the capacitor is constant, then the current becomes 0 and the capacitor acts like an open circuit. So let us now generalize. Kanina, ang inductor ay shorted kapag DC. At ang capacitor ay open kapag DC. Okay, so we have a mnemonic for that. Kapag DC analysis, ang inductor ay shorted at ang capacitor ay open. So madaling tandaan, disco. 'Diba? So this disco is a popular mnemonic in electronics engineering, which means that in DC analysis, ang inductor ay shorted at ang capacitor ay open. Okay? So tandaan yan ha, kasi very useful yan, not only in DE but also in circuit analysis. Now, let us discuss the series RL circuit. So here, we have a circuit containing a resistor and an inductor, which are connected in series. And here, we have a supply voltage V. And also here, we have a switch. No? And we assume that initially, this inductor is relaxed, meaning it is not charged and the initial current is 0. So if I turn this switch on or if I close the circuit, current will flow. Okay? And what is our goal? Our goal is to determine this current in the circuit at any given time. Because if we know that current, we will also know the voltage across the resistor and the voltage across the inductor. Diba? So once again, ano ang goal natin dito? Ang goal natin is hanapin yung kuryente, no? Doon sa circuit, yung I of T. Kapag ka itong switch na ito ay nag-close. Okay? So, para yan ay magawa natin, kinakailangan mong mag-create or mag-formulate ng isang differential equation, no? And paano tayo makakapag-formulate ng differential equation? Siyempre, hindi tayo gagamit dito ng Newton's law, 'di ba? Lalo namang hindi ka gagamit ng Ohm's law. In order to formulate a differential equation that describes the current in this series RL circuit, we need to apply a law, a physical law called KVL. Okay? So applying KVL, which states that the summation of all the voltage drop in a closed path is equal to 0. So here we have V, and then minus the voltage drop in the resistor is R times I. Of course, we know that because of Ohm's law. Minus the voltage drop in an inductor. Nakaka-derive lang natin. Again, what is the voltage drop in an inductor? That's L times di over dt equals 0. Okay, so this is now the differential equation that describes this circuit. And here, the dependent variable is I. And this I is also the unknown function that we are looking for. Okay? So the solution of this differential equation is this current that we are looking for, no? As a function, of course, of time. Now, what can we say about this differential equation? Now, assuming that this V is a constant voltage source, and therefore, DC yung ating source. And the initial current in the circuit is 0. Kasi nga relaxed yung ating inductor. Okay? So kung ito ay constant, then this is a linear differential equation. Okay? So kung yan ay linear differential equation, pwede natin yang isulat in the standard linear form. Kung saan itong dalawang terms na ito ay nasa kabila, no? Gawin ko siyang nasa right hand side. So we have L times di over dt plus R times I equals the voltage source V. And to express this in the standard linear form, folde, kinakailangan yung derivative term, 1 ang coefficient. So we will divide both sides of the equation by L. We will get di over dt plus R over L times I equals this V. Of course, do not forget to divide it by L. So we now have our differential equation in the standard linear form. Now, to obtain the solution of this linear differential equation, we need to find the integrating factor, which is e raised to the integral of p dt. Okay, so here p is r over L, right? That's the coefficient of the dependent variable I. So the integrating factor is e raised to the integral of r over L dt, which is simply equal to e raised to r over L times t. So we now have our integrating factor. Now, to get the solution of this differential equation, remember Yespidex, yung y, papalitan mo lang ng I, di ba? Okay, so y will be replaced by I, And then we multiply it by the integrating factor e raised to r over lt equals the integral of q. So q is v over l. Squespedex dex. So magiging squespedet det, di ba? So yung q natin is v over l and then multiplied by the integrating factor e raised to r over lt and then squespedet det. Okay, so ito na siya. So now let's evaluate the integral. So if we evaluate this integral, we will get v over l times, kapag in-integrate natin to magiging l over r times e raised to r over lt, and then don't forget the arbitrary constancy. So we now have I times e raised to r over lt equals this expression, and we are solving for the current I. Ayan. So solving for I, we just divide both sides of the equation with this exponential term. So yung exponential dito mawawala at ito magkakaroon ng multiplier na e raised to, kasi dinivide mo siya, magiging negative r over lt. Tapos itong l na to magka-cancel, 'di ba? So yung matitira dito is just v over r times, wala na. Bakit? Kasi nga magka-cancel na, no? Kapag dinivide natin both sides ng e raised to r over lt, ito makaka-cancel. So plus yung arbitrary constant na yan, and then e raised to negative r over l times t. Okay? So this is the general solution of this differential equation. But since we have an initial condition that I of 0 is 0, we can get the value of the arbitrary constant, so we can obtain a particular solution, 'di ba? So kapag ang time ay 0, ang current 0 din. 'Yun ang condition natin. So palitan natin ito, 0 is equal to v over r plus c times e raised to 0 is 1. So from this expression, the value of c is equal to negative v over r. Ayan. So since we already know the value of c, i-substitute lang natin ito doon. Makukuha na natin ngayon yung current as a function of time. So the current at any given time is equal to, so this v over r is a common factor in both terms. So common factor na lang yung v over r mo times 1 minus ito, e raised to negative r over l times t. Okay, so this is now the equation that describes the current in the series RL circuit. Okay, so we have some restrictions that initially the current in the inductor is 0 and this voltage source is a constant source or a DC source. So now let us analyze this equation, no? So here we have an exponential that decays with time. So habang tumatagal, itong term na ito ay nag-approach sa 0 because it's a decaying exponential. And what will be left is the term v over r. Okay? So mathematically speaking, as time approaches infinity, yung current natin ay nag-a-approach sa v over r. Okay? So yung v over r na yan, na ina-approach kapag ang time ay tumagal ng tumagal, yan ang tinatawag natin na steady state current or ISS. So habang hindi pa nakakarating sa steady state value yung current, ano naman ang tawag doon sa kuryente na yun? So that current is still part of the transient response of the circuit. So how does the graph of this equation look like? Okay, so here we have a decaying exponential, no? And habang tumatagal, ang matitira is v over r. So that means this quantity is increasing with time. Bakit? Kasi nababawasan siya ng quantity na lumiliit. Kung ang nababawas sa kanya ay paliit ng paliit, then yung quantity ay palaki ng palaki. 'Di ba? Okay, so this is now the graph of the current as a function of time. Ito yung graph ng nakuha nating solution kanina. Okay, so on the y-axis here we have the current, and on the x-axis we have the time. So this is the graph of the current as a function of time. And recall the equation of the current, that's v over r times the quantity 1 minus e raised to negative r over lt. Okay, na alam naman natin kapag ang time ay tumagal ng tumagal, this term will vanish. Kaya ang matitira na lang sa current is yung V over R, which we call the steady state value of the current, or simply the steady state current. Ito yon, no? Ito yung part na steady state na ang current natin. Equal na lang siya sa V over R. Sir, paano kapag hindi pa nararating ang steady state? Kapag hindi pa nararating ang steady state, dito sa part na to, yan ang tinatawag na transient part. Okay? So, mathematically, yung solution ng differential equation is ito. Okay? But if I will consider this as an electric circuit, now that solution of the differential equation represents the response of the circuit. Okay? Meron siyang response. Yung response is yung mathematical solution, which is this. At yung response ng system pwede nating hatiin sa dalawang part. Meron siyang tinatawag na steady state part. Ito yon, kapag constant na yung current, equal na sa V over R. At yung tinatawag natin na transient part, ito yon. Okay? Yun yung part kung saan hindi pa nararating ang steady state. Okay? Pag hindi pa nararating ang steady state, transient yun, no? And that takes place at a very short period of time, no? Mabilis na mabilis lang yan. Usually, it's less than 1 second. And then, ito na yung steady state response natin. Diba? Okay. So, sir, I have a question. Ano yung question na yan? Gaano katagal bago mararating ang tinatawag na steady state? That's a good question. Why? Because to answer that question, I need to introduce an important quantity called that time constant. Okay? So ano itong time constant na ito? Siya ang sumusukat kung gaano kabilis ang response ng circuit. Okay? So kung ang time constant ay maliit, that means mabilis mararating ang steady state. Kung ang time constant ay malaki, ang value, that means mabagal or matagal bago marating ang steady state. Okay? And the time constant is defined as the time it takes to reach the steady state value. Ito yon. So kung dito sa drawing na ito yung steady state value. Gaano daw katagal bago mararating ang steady state value na yan? Kung ang system ay relaxed, so kagaya nung kanina, ang initial current ay 0, so relaxed siya. Kung ang rate of change daw ay equal sa initial rate of change. Sir, ano yun? Simple lang yan. Yung rate of change dito, derivative. Okay? So, simple lang yan. Kukunan mo lang pala ito ng derivative. No? At kukunin mo yung derivative kapag ang time ay 0. Kasi ang sabi, initial rate of change. So, kunan mo siya ng derivative, and then, yung time, gawin mong 0. After that, may makukuha kang value. So, yung makukuha mong value ng derivative, yun ang gagamitin mo ngayong rate of change. Kung ang rate of change daw ay equal dun sa nakuha mong value ng derivative, no? Na initial rate of change, gaano katagal bago mararating ang steady state? Sir, paano natin makukompute yun? Madali lang. Remember that the derivative is equal to the slope of the tangent line. So, kung yan ay initial, gawa ka lang ng tangent line sa simula. Diba? Ito yung simula. So, yan yung tangent line natin ngayon. Kung ano ang slope ng tangent line, yan na yung initial rate of change. So, kung yan daw ang rate of change, gaano katagal bago mararating itong steady state na ito? You can think of this as a new equation of a line, 'di ba? So, i-equate mo lang 'yan sa V over R and then solve for t. So, may makukuha ka ditong slope. Yung slope na 'yan, remember, 'di ba? Y is equal to mx plus b. So, dito yung y papalitan natin ng i. I is equal to m multiplied by t. So, yung m na to, yan yung makukuha mo na derivative. So, pag nakuha mo yan, substitute mo lang yung derivative doon, and then i-equate mo sa I. Ang gusto nating value ng I is yung steady state value, which is V over R. 'Di ba? So, ngayon, isolve mo lang yung T. Yung makukuha mong T, yun na yung time constant. Okay? So, i-derive natin yan ngayon, ha? So, first, kailangan mo daw malaman yung initial rate of change. So, that means, kunan mo ng derivative ang V over R times 1 minus e raised to negative r over lt. Okay, pag kinuna natin yan ng derivative, simple lang naman. Derivative of a product, no? Constant at saka ito. Okay, so v over r times, ano yung derivative nito? Ito, 0. And then ito, negative e to the negative r over l times t times the derivative ng exponent, which is negative R over L. Okay. Now, can we simplify this? Yes. Yung R ay magka-cancel. Ito. Tapos negative is positive. Okay. So, pag sinimplify natin yan, yung makukuha nating derivative is V over L times E raised to negative R over L times T. Now, ito na yung nakuha nating derivative. Na ang sabi, initial daw. So, that means, ang time ay 0. If T is equal to 0, then, ang makukuha natin is just V over L. Okay, so ito na yung rate of change na kailangan natin ngayon. Yan na yung rate of change. Ito na yung M, di ba? Okay, so makukuha na natin ngayon yung time dito at yung time na makukuha mo, yan na yung time constant. Okay, so paano gawin yon? Madali lang, no? E-equate mo lang siya. Yung I, papalitan lang natin ang value ng current na gusto natin, which is V over R. Bakit? Kasi yun daw ay para marating ang steady state value, which is V over R. And then, equals dun sa M, yung nakuha nating slope is V over L, which is the initial slope, times the time. O, diba? Yung time na makukompute mo dyan or masosolve mo, yun na yung time constant. Eh, diba madali lang? Ayan, no, magka-cancel lang yung dalawang V. So, pag kinonpute mo yung T, yung makukuha mong sagot is just L over R. Yan. So, itong L over R na ito, yan ang time constant ng isang RL circuit. So, tatandaan ha, okay, iyan ay magagamit nyo pa sa inyong circuits 1 at saka circuits 2. Tandaan, sa isang RL circuit, ang time constant ay L over R. Okay? So, kung mapapansin mo, binaliktad lang natin ito. Reciprocal lang yan ng exponent ng exponential. Diba? Yun lang pala yun, baliktarin mo lang pala yung R over L, magiging L over R na siya, yun na, yung time constant na yan. O, di ba? Diyan sa time na yan, ito yun, no? One time constant, no? After one time constant, ano na ang value ngayon ng current? Ito yun. Lagyan natin dito ng line. Yung line na yun, yun yung value ng time constant, no? So, saan siya nag-intersect sa graph dito? So, at this point, ano ang value or gaano nakalaki yung current? Okay? So, remember, kapag pinalta natin itong T ng L over R, magiging ano na lang yan? 1 minus E raised to negative 1. Right? And 1 minus E raised to negative 1 is, compute natin, 1 minus 1 over E. Yan. So, may makukuha tayong value na 63.2% or 0.632. Okay? So, yan ang popular na definition ng time constant. Okay? So, time constant in many books is defined as the time it takes to reach 63.2% of the steady state value. So, tandaan ha. Okay. Time constant is the time required to reach 63.2% of the steady state value. Of course, that will come from 0. No, magsisimula siya sa 0 hanggang marating yung 63.2% ng steady state value. Okay? So ngayon, yung time constant na yan ang magsasabi sa atin kung ang response baga ng circuit mo ay mabagal or mabilis. So once again, another definition of the time constant is that it is the time required to reach 63.2% of the steady state value. Of course, coming from 0. So, going back to the question kanina, gaano nakatagal bago marating ang steady state value ng current or simply ang steady state? Okay, as a rule of thumb, nararating ang steady state after 5 time constant. Tandaan ha, the steady state is reached after approximately 5 tau or 5 time constant. Okay? Balikan ko lang itong graph na ito ha. Okay, so ito yung part na transient at itong part yung steady state. So pag nasa steady state na tayo, ano na ang nangyari sa iyong inductor? Okay, so ang inductor dito sa part na ito ay shorted na yan. No? Kaya ang voltage across the inductor is 0 na. So that means ang inductor pala ay shorted na. Yes, kagaya ng sinabi natin kanina, kapag ka DC analysis, ang inductor ay shorted. Ayan, nag-discuss na rin tayo ng circuits, no? Natuto ka na sa DE, natuto ka pa sa circuits. O, di ba? Amazing grace. So, mag-solve na tayo ng mga sample problems. Example number 1.